All right, let's start like this. You probably think you're failing. You look at your bank account and your career, your progress, and you're like, nope, Joe, I'm not close to success. I'm closer to becoming a professional napper. But here's the twist. Success rarely feels like success when you're getting close. It feels messy. It feels like doubt. It feels like you're grinding without results. And that's exactly why most people quit right before they win. So today I'm going to show you 10 signs you're actually closer to success than you think. And I promise, by the end of this, you'll look at your situation completely differently. Sign number one, you're frustrated all the time. You think frustration means you're failing. Wrong. Frustration means you're outgrowing your old self. It's your brain screaming, we're ready for more, but we don't have the system yet. That's growth pain. Think of it like shoes that used to fit perfectly, but now they pinch because your feet grew. That's not failure. That's proof you're expanding. When I first started writing scripts, I'd get mad at myself because my ideas weren't clicking. I'd stare at the screen, rewrite the same line 10 times, delete it, and feel like an idiot. But that frustration, that was proof I had standards, that I actually cared about improving. Mediocre people don't get frustrated. They're too busy scrolling TikTok in peace, satisfied with being average. Frustration is like sore muscles after a workout. It hurts, but it's proof you're building strength. If you're frustrated, it's not a dead end. It's a signal you're leveling up. Sign number two, you feel like nobody believes in you. Oh yeah, this one's big. People laugh, ignore, doubt, even roll their eyes. Your friends say, that's cute, but maybe get a real job. Your family says, are you sure this is practical? And strangers? They just don't care. But think about it. People don't waste energy doubting nobodies. If you were irrelevant, nobody would care. Doubt is social proof that you're trying something bigger than usual. Every successful person has that story. They didn't believe in me until I made it. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for TV. The Beatles were rejected by a record label because guitar bands are on the way out. Yeah, sure. And now those people look like clowns in history books. If everyone around you's clapping for your goals, you're probably not aiming high enough. Comfort goals get applause. Scary goals get silence. Or worse, criticism. And if you're getting that, congratulations. You're on the right track. Sign number three. You're working but don't see results yet. This one hurts the most. You're putting in the hours, the effort, the late nights, and it feels invisible. You start to wonder if it's even worth it. But success compounds like interest. Imagine planting a seed and checking the soil every day. For weeks, nothing. You start doubting. Did I buy bad seeds? Am I watering wrong? Maybe gardening isn't for me. Then, one day, sprout. The results were happening underground all along. Most people quit in the dirt stage. That's why they never see the plant. Think about the bamboo tree. It takes 5 years of watering before it breaks the soil. 5 years of nothing. And then suddenly, it shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. Were those 5 years wasted? The roots were forming the entire time. That's how success works. Your late nights, your practice, your effort, they're roots. You just can't see them yet. And the dangerous part is, you can't know which day is your sprout day. It might be tomorrow. It might be next month. But if you quit, you'll never see it. So if you're grinding and not seeing results, you're probably in the underground growth phase. And that means you're closer than you think. Sign number four. You've failed more times than you can count. Failure isn't a red flag. It's the entrance fee to success. Think about Edison. I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. Every failure is just a prototype. When you fail, it means you're in the arena. The only people who don't fail are the ones who never play. If you're failing repeatedly, congrats. You're buying tickets to the success lottery. And here's the thing. Failure teaches you things success never could. Success makes you comfortable. Failure makes you sharp. Success feeds your ego. Failure feeds your strategy. Every time you trip, you're forced to analyze, adapt, and try again. That's how winners are forged, by trial, error, and stubborn persistence. Think about athletes. The ones who dominate aren't the ones who always win, but the ones who lose, study the tape, and come back stronger. If your story right now is a highlight reel of failures, don't panic. That just means you're stacking up tuition payments for the University of Success. Sign number 5. You're comparing yourself to others constantly. Yeah, comparison sucks. It eats at your confidence. You scroll through social media and it feels like everyone else is winning while you're stuck in neutral. But here's the secret. Comparison only happens when you're aware you could do better. If you were truly hopeless, you wouldn't compare. You'd just give up. Comparing yourself means you're tuned in to the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That awareness is painful, but it's the first ingredient for growth. The key is to flip comparison into inspiration. Don't look at someone else's chapter 20 and hate yourself for being on chapter 3. Instead, look at it and say, that's proof chapter 20 is possible. Without comparison, you'd never know what levels even exist. The danger is when you let it paralyze you, when instead of moving forward, you start spiraling. So treat comparison like fire. Uncontrolled, it burns you. Controlled, it cooks your food. Use it as a compass, not a cage. Sign number 6. You've outgrown old friends or habits. Here's a painful one. You start noticing you don't vibe with the same crowd anymore. Friday night drinking doesn't feel the same. Gossip bores you. Mindless games, empty conversations, they drain you instead of excite you. That's a sign you're leveling up. You're literally rewiring your brain for bigger things. Success demands new environments, and when the old ones feel small, you're on the right path. It's bittersweet because outgrowing people feels like betrayal. But it's not betrayal, it's evolution. Some friends are meant for a season, not a lifetime. And habits work the same way. Maybe you used to waste hours on video games or endless TV, and now you can't stand the thought of losing that time. That's not you being boring. That's you being awake. Think of it like a snake shedding its skin. The old layer isn't bad, but it doesn't fit anymore. So if you feel disconnected from old friends or old routines, don't panic. It's not loneliness, it's a promotion. It means you're moving into circles and habits that match the next version of you. Sign number 7. You're obsessed with small improvements. You used to binge Netflix. Now you're watching tutorials, listening to podcasts, reading about habits. You're tweaking your morning routine, adjusting your diet, planning your week. Nobody notices, but those small 1% improvements add up. If you're obsessed with small changes, you're basically building a runway for takeoff. Most people want the plane to just appear in the air. You're building the runway, and that means the flight is coming. Here's the thing. Small improvements look boring from the outside. Nobody claps when you drink water instead of soda. Nobody cheers when you go to bed an hour earlier or when you read 10 pages of a book. But over time, those little upgrades stack. Small hinges swing big doors. The people who win aren't the ones who made one giant leap. They're the ones who stacked tiny wins until momentum took over. If you can't stop tweaking, improving, optimizing, you're not obsessive. You're preparing for takeoff. Sign number 8. You've had a glimpse of what's possible. Maybe it was one client, one good month, one tiny viral moment, a single spark, and then it faded. You felt like you lost it. But here's the truth. That glimpse wasn't luck. It was proof. A preview of what's coming if you stay consistent. Every success story has that first glimpse moment. It's like the universe teasing you. This is yours if you keep going. Don't mistake a glimpse for a fluke. It's a forecast. Think about it. Athletes remember the first time they beat someone stronger than them. Musicians remember the first crowd that sang their lyrics back. Entrepreneurs remember their first unexpected sale. That tiny glimpse lights a fire so strong, it can fuel years of grind. If you've had even one glimpse of success, no matter how small, it's not the end. It's the trailer for the movie of your life. Sign number 9. You're constantly learning new skills. You're uncomfortable. You're fumbling. You feel dumb. That's a sign you're in learning mode, not autopilot mode. The people who are actually failing, they're comfortable. They stopped learning. If you feel like a beginner every few months, you're secretly upgrading your operating system. And when those upgrades stack, that's when breakthroughs happen. Feeling dumb is the toll booth on the road to feeling legendary. Think about it. Every master started out looking ridiculous. Kobe Bryant missed air balls before he became a legend. Jeff Bezos fumbled through building an online bookstore before Amazon conquered the world. If you feel clumsy right now, that's not failure. It's the exact same awkwardness every great person went through before their breakthrough. If you're learning, you're leveling up. Sign number 10, you haven't quit. This might be the biggest one. You've been discouraged, broke, embarrassed, tired, and yet you're still here. That alone puts you ahead of 90% of people, because most people quit the second it's hard. If you're still in the game, even crawling, even limping, you're close. Survival is underrated. Sometimes success isn't about who's smartest or fastest. It's about who stays in the ring long enough to land that one knockout punch. Think of Rocky movies. The reason people love them isn't because Rocky never got hit. He got destroyed. But he stayed standing. That's you right now. If you haven't quit, you're winning by default. You just need to stay long enough to catch your break. And when you do, people will say you were lucky. But you'll know the truth, you were relentless. Now let me tell you a story. Years ago, I had this friend who wanted to start a small business selling handmade products. For 2 years, she sold almost nothing. She'd post online, maybe get a like from her mom, and that's it. She cried multiple times thinking it was pointless. But she didn't quit. She kept improving, kept learning marketing, kept tweaking her craft. Then, one random month, one influencer found her product and shared it. Her orders exploded overnight, from zero to booked out. And here's the crazy part. When people saw her success, they said, "Wow, you're so lucky." Lucky? She had been failing, frustrated, doubted, broke, but consistent. The overnight success took her 2 years of almost nothing. That's what it looks like. So here's the truth. If you're watching this and you see yourself in even 3 or 4 of these signs, you're closer than you think. Success isn't a finish line, it's a breaking point. You grind, you fail, you doubt, and then suddenly the walls crack. And everyone else calls it luck, but you'll know it was persistence. Now, before I wrap this up, if you want more videos that give you the raw truth and maybe a little emotional damage, hit that subscribe button right now. Because you don't want to be the only one in 5 years saying, "Man, I wish I had listened to Joe back then." So remember this. Success doesn't show up looking like success. It shows up disguised as frustration, doubt, failure, and discomfort. And if you're living in that zone right now, don't stop. Because if you don't quit, you don't lose. And if you don't lose, your win is just around the corner.